It was an early morning in Ponyville. There was a knock on the door at the castle, and Spike opened. He saw that it was Derpy. Morning, Spike. Morning, Derpy. Morning, Belle. Thanks. Have a good day. Who was it, Spike? Asked Twilight. Ah, it was Derpy with the morning bell. Oh, anything interest? Let me see. No, see, it's mostly morning newspaper, some commercials. It's a letter for you. Oh, who is it from? Let's see. Ah, they're from Minuette. Minuette. Oh, one of my old friends from Canterlot. I wonder what she wanna run. Would write me letter. I mean, they usually don't write letters to each other so often. But let me see. Spike handing over the letter to Twilight, and she opened it. Wow, she's coming over for a visit. Really? Says Mike. Yeah, it turns out she is actually having some time off from her work for a couple of days, and she thought maybe come visit me in here in Ponyville. Well, we haven't even seen her in a while, said Spike. No, that's true. I mean, I'm always glad to see some old friends back home. But doesn't she say exactly when she's coming over? I mean, which time, which day, so we know exactly, so we don't be surprised that yeah, uh, she's coming over by tomorrow at noon. And if you would be so kind, maybe meet up her at the train station at that time. Sure, I can do that. Since I may have to take care of things at the castle, maybe preparing some snacks or something like that for lunch for us. Yeah, but I can do that, says Spike. I mean, I don't have anything else planned to do. So, that was nice, great. So, by the next day, Spike went to the train station just about 5 minutes before noon, just being there in time. And after about 5 minutes, the train arrived and he saw Minuet. He walked up to her and gave her a hug, and they had a small talk on the way to the castle. So, Spike, have you been up to lately? Well, the same things. Helping Twilight being at the castle, the School of Friendship, or helping around other friends in town. All kind of things. Yeah. Well, what about you? Been busy at my job at the catalog, so I finally had some time off and I decided to come here to see my old friend. And yeah, I just want to see how she has been up to lately. I mean, we haven't even been able to see each other so often. Yeah, I can understand that. And when they arrived at the castle, Twilight was really happy to see Minuet once again, gave each other a hug, and they went to the library where they started talking. Um, do you need any for more help from me, Twilight? Asked Spike. No, I don't think so. I mean, if you want to join us. Um, no, it's okay, said Spike. I'll probably go to see what Rarity's up to. That's fine. See you later, Spike. At this point, Spike and Rarity had been dating for about a couple of months, and it was looking forward to that. Was looking very bright for their relationship. So, Minuet, how you been up to lately? Uh, you know, work, all that kinds of stuff. What about you? Yeah, I mean, taking up the castle, helping my friends, and be the head mayor for the School of Friendship is a lot of work. I mean, I never even expecting to be a teacher and a head mayor of a school. Yeah, that is. I mean, when I heard that stories, the news, even when I reached you Canterlot, I didn't even expect my old friend's school be a teacher herself. I mean, sure, you may have the starlight as the pupil, but being a teacher at the school, I never even imagined that, Twilight. I mean, even though I could see you as a teacher, but the whole school, wow, that took a whole new level, even to my understanding, though. Yeah, even I really had no idea myself what I get myself into, honestly, said Twilight. But David started enjoying their company, and after a while, Minuet thought maybe that she needed some fresh air and told Twilight that. And Twilight said that she could leave the castle, take a walk through town, and while Twilight took care of some things at the castle. And of course, Minuet didn't mind that. And Minuet was actually walking around and saw a couple of other friends that she had got to know, like Rainbow, Fluttershy, even Rarity. Rarity was with Spike and they would just spend some time together on like a small date. She was just saying hi to them and she would continue to walk. But after a while, she started getting a little bit hungry, and she decided to go to Sugar Cube Corner to get something to eat. She went there and she ran into someone else, some pony else. It was actually Derpy. Derpy had, by this point, had finished her work at the post office, and she was there with her daughter Dinky to buy some cupcakes or muffins. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to run into you. Ah, that's okay, said Dinky with a smile. This is my mom, Derpy. Derpy, isn't you one of the male ponies in town? I mean, I heard a lot about you. Yeah, that's me, said Derpy with a smile. So, how is it being like a male pony otherwise? I mean, I know you travel a lot to the different locations. I mean, letters, packages. Must be a tough job. It can be, said Derpy with again a smile. But it is always a good thing. I mean, I get a lot to travel a lot, to meet new ponies every time, and even if you've seen old faces and meet new ponies every time, and you never know where I had to go to take the letter to the mail. If I had to go all the way to the Crystal Empire, or if I go to the Griffin Stone, you know it. Yeah, I mean, traveling is something I always want to go do, but I'm actually enjoying my job back in Canada myself. So, but if I was a Pegasus, I probably would travel as much as I could. But even though I'm not a Pegasus anymore, though, yep. But you get my mean. Yeah, I do. Said Derpy. So here we go, Pinky, Derpy, Dinky, said Pinky, and hand over a small box of cupcakes. Thanks. Oh, what's nice to meet you, said Derpy. Same here, said Minuette. Ah, Minuette, what can I do for you? Said Pinky. I'm not so sure though, Pinky. Any suggestions? Well, how about this? We usually had fresh made banana cupcake. Banana cupcake. Hmm. You know what? We'll try that. I will take 4. Anything else? No, I think but does that. Okay, thanks. After she left, she went through the park and sat down to have the cupcakes. Even when she was sitting there, she was actually enjoying the views, how the other ponies were hanging out with friends, other young children were playing around games with each other, just having a great time there. But even though that she did observe that some of the ponies were there, especially some pony, seeing that made her feeling a bit lonely herself. Because over about a month ago, Minuet was actually dating this particular stallion back in Cantonal. Even though they just only had been dating for about a month, she maybe thought maybe that he could be the right the right stallion for her, maybe the right pony to settle down one day with, even though it was only about a month. But eventually found out that he had been seeing another mare behind her back after just a couple of weeks. After just only been dating for about a month, he had already been started seeing another mare behind her back. When she found out, she was devastated. She told the stallion that she didn't want to see or even talk to him ever again, because not only that he cheated on her, but he broke her trust, and even that was the last straw for her. The, that event wasn't even known much about her friends. She only told a couple of close friends what happened. They were all very shocked because they seemed to be a very happy couple. But after finding out what her boyfriend did, she was shocked herself. After that, she made a promise to herself not to find a new stallion to be with for the next couple months, maybe a year. For now, she decided to focus on her job and her friends. But only when she's ready to be going on dates again. This time, she will be alert and also be always aware of any signs of any cheating or anything like that. because she didn't want to have her heart broken a second time. But she really wished that this boyfriend of hers, or ex boyfriend, could at least have been telling her that he didn't want to be with her anymore and rather just been cheating and into that. If he had done that, she could accept it. But finding out that her ex boyfriend cheated on her, that is the last thing she wished that happened. After she finished the cupcakes in the park, she just sat there to relax and enjoy the day. It wasn't until later in the afternoon when she returned back to the castle. She later found that Twilight wasn't even there, but she didn't mind. She went to the guest room that Twilight had given her, and just lay there and relaxed. And she even read some comic books that Spike gave her. That Spike knew that Minuette had some passion for comic books, so gave some of his, and she thanked him. So after about a couple of hours, Twilight returned with Spike. They apparently had been away to the school friendship to do some things, and on the way home, they went to the market to buy some food to the dinner. So, how was your day today? Minuet asked Twilight during the dinner. And it was actually kept calm. I just went to talk to some of friends, met Derpy. She's a friend of mine, apparently. A friend of yours? Yeah, she is. And she is a little bit, she a little bit clumsy sometimes. Oh, yeah, it happened that she sometimes can deliver mails to the wrong address. Oh, all the time? No, that has happened only a few times, says Spike. Yeah, but she is actually not a bad friend at all. She can be a little bit clumsy, but always a good mood. I mean, she has always been that ever since she was became a single mother after her daughter Dinky's father passed away when she was only 1 year old. It did? Yeah, sadly, since ever since then, Turpin had been a single mother raising her own daughter for alone. Well, not technically alone, although, said Spike. Well, yeah, you may have a point, said Spike. Said Twilight. She has some of her friends there to help her to look after her daughter when she's at work or when something like that. She hasn't even had any other relatives in town? Not that I know of, said Twilight. Do you know, Spike? No, I don't think so. I mean, she never mentioned it or Dinky has. But it's possible, but never asked. So the rest of the day, Twilight and Minuet used small talk and about like that. But the next day, Twilight had a lot of things to take care of at the School of Friendship, and Spike was going to help her. Since Minuet didn't have any time to spend with Twilight since she's going to be busy, so Minuet decided to just focus on something in town. Maybe walk around, see if there's any activities that she can do, maybe some sports, or maybe even go to see some of the other friends that she had got to know in town. She went to this boutique that Rarity was working, and she was actually not su- not surprised seeing that she was working all that guys. But even though that she was hearing that Spike and the Rarity had been dating for a couple of months, and she was a little bit eager to know exactly how things are going between them. But Rarity said, "Darling, everything is going perfectly fine. I mean, Spike is a little bit younger, but he's a very gentle. He is a very gentle colt, and he really helps me a lot here at Boutique. Even Sweetie Belle likes him. I mean, they're all close to the same age, but he is a very perfect boyfriend. I love him more than anything in the whole world." "I can see that," said Minuet. "What about you? Do you have some close special some pony back home?" "I did," said Minuet sadly. "Oh, what happened? You can tell me." And then she told her, "Oh, my sweet Celeste, he did that after just a month. Not to be sounding rude, but that is just unspeakable." "Yeah, but one day you may find the right pony for you, and eventually one day when you're at least expected." "Yeah, I've been told that many times before," said Minuet. but for now, I decided to focus on my friends and my work. After that, Minuet had left the boutique. She just strolled around the town, just walking around to see what she had other things that she could be doing. But then, suddenly, she ran into some pony that she met the day before. Dinky. Dinky was alone, and she was carrying some things, and Minuet asked her if she needed any help. Apparently, it turns out Dinky had been at the market to buy some food for dinner from herself and her mom, Derpy. And Dinky didn't mind if that Minuet helped her. So they went to the Derpy's home, and there she could see how the things were. A lot of There was a lot of photographs of herself with Dinky and when Dinky was younger, and some other family members apparently. But she didn't brought up that about Dinky's father because she didn't want to make Dinky sad or anything. But Derpy was at a census normally was at work. Dinky said that she was actually coming home within the next half hour or so, so she was able to take care of herself. But before Minuet was about to leave, Dinky asked if she wanted to stay and maybe play some games. And since Minuet didn't have any other plans to do, so she accepted. So they sat down in the living room, play some board games, and sure enough, they had played for nearly an hour. Around the time Derpy came home, even though that she was a half hour late, it turns out she had to stay behind at the office to take care of some packages that had arrived and some other things. So, but she thanked Minuet to that she was there to look after Dinky, even though it was only for about an hour or so. Even though she wasn't aware that Minuet even were there until she saw her when she walked in. But she was happy. She even actually asked if their Minuet wanted to stay over for dinner. And Minuet thought about it for a moment and said, "Sure, why not?" So Derpy and Dinky made a dinner together while Minuet sat in the living room just relaxing, waiting for dinner. And during dinner, though, they were just small talking, but suddenly, when the topic about Dinky's father came up, and Minuet realized that mistake and said, "I'm sorry, I should probably. It's okay. We talk about her father all the time, and it's a good way to always remember her father. I mean, he was kind, very generous, but a little protective. But he was very kind, handsome, kind. I do miss him all the time. Even though Dinky never doesn't even remembers him, but what she had been told, she likes him. And she even points in the photograph in the background in the living room above the couch with Derpy and the stallion with them having a baby. So that's true. That's my dad, said Dinky with a smile. I like him. I know that he's no longer here, but sometimes I can feel his presence. Derpy said, "Yeah, I get the same thing." After that, Minuet thanked for dinner and went back to the castle. But on the way to the castle, though, Minuet will start thinking about Derpy in a good way. She thinks that she is very proud and very brave to be a single mother, even though that Derpy's the daughter Dinky were close to like 12 or 13. But she was actually quite happy to that Derpy was very brave and even had to handle a single mother parentally. But that night, things would change. In that night, Minuet had a dream about her and Derpy. They were just sitting at the park, just laughing, having a good time. They were just spending some time as friends. But then the next morning, Minuet didn't mind that dream though. After about a couple of days, she went back to Candlelight. Even though she missed that she could stay a bit longer in Ponyville to spend time with Twilight. But back in Candlelight, the dreams about her and Derpy didn't even stop. In fact, they happen more frequently, more often. At first, it was just they were playing games or just spend some time together, but some of their dreams started getting more differently. Some of them were more interesting, in fact. Some were into more like romantic atmosphere. They were dating, they were getting married, they have a family together. After a while, she started wondering what these dreams even were supposed to mean anything. I mean, she said to herself, I don't know if these dreams are supposed to mean something. I mean, I do like her, she is a good friend, but this is really unexpected. And the dreams continued. At first, it was just they were having friendly time together, but after some time, they started to evolve into more romantically, and eventually, that what it has been. Ever since after about a week after she returned home, the dreams were first normally friendly, but the term eventually slowly evolved into more romantically. First, they were having small dates a couple times, then they were got engaged, they got married, and have a family, and one of the dreams that they were expecting the first baby together. Ever since that, the dreams were always romantically. She started wondering to herself, what is going on here? So she asked her friend Moondancer if she had any idea what these dreams could even mean. Moondancer asked her how often you have these dreams and how frequent. Minuette said basically every day, every night. Every night? And it's the same thing like every single night? No. I mean, there are basically romantic dreams I have with Derpy, but they are not the same things. Like, we having dinners, or romantic, watching movies, watching the sky, the shooting stars together, and you know what I mean? Basically that. She was very surprised though. I mean, what do you think that it could mean? Do you mean there's something that would happen, or just randomly? I mean, at first it was just normal, me and her hanging out, but eventually it grows to this. I'm really surprised. I mean, I have no idea what to do, or at least what to expect. Moondancer said, "Well, give it some time. This might just stop eventually." I mean, you did spend some time with Derpy back in Ponyville about a week ago, didn't you? Yeah, a couple of times. Yeah, you might be right. This race might just stop eventually. And around the time, it didn't even stop. It just continued. And eventually, Minette actually got used to those dreams. But a month later, she went back to Ponyville to spend time with Twilight. And she didn't even mention these dreams to her by either by letters or anything, because she got used to these dreams and didn't thought maybe it wasn't worth to even mention it. But even those dreams were sometimes really very passionately lovable. She had no idea that these dreams, what maybe as potential could happen in the future. So one day when she was meeting up with Derpy, just they had made plans to spend time, she mentioned that she has been having some dreams about her and herself. Derpy was also surprised and asked what kind of dreams. She mentioned as what just said they were like this, the like that they're doing now, just hanging out to spend time. But some of them actually started to evolve to more romantically. Derpy was just blushing and that, wait, romantically? Yeah, she said. But I know that you may not be like into mares or anything like that. I mean, I'm surprised myself I had those kind of dreams, said Minuet with a smile. But Derpy, she was stunned. She was silent. What Minuet didn't even know that Derpy was in fact bisexual, meaning that she was both into stallions and mares. Well, to be fair and honestly, said Derpy, I'm actually into both genders. Minuet was really surprised at that statement. Wait, seriously? Mm-hmm. But you hadn't been dated a mare before? No, not really. I mean, I have been busy with my daughter and my work, so I never even had time to date. Oh, I mean, would you date somewhere if you had the opportunity? Yeah, I would. I mean, I would give it a try to see if it works. Would you date me? Minuet said with a blushing a lot more. It was a silence between them. And before Minuet would say, maybe that was a stupid question. Yes, I would date you, said Derpy with a smile while blushing. Well, you could see if it can work. To me, it's worth a try, though. I mean, Dinky likes you a lot. Yeah, you know, you may right by that, Derpy. I mean, we can see if it works. So they decided to try the date. And even though that Derpy couldn't see Minuet so often, but since Minuet had to work a lot more in Canterlot, but Derpy said that she can always go see her when she has time off herself, which isn't that, which is sometimes a little bit more often than she usually do. And some of her friends back home can look after Dinky while she is away. And that works. So for the next couple of weeks, couple of months in fact, they usually spend a lot of time. They hang out, they went to the movies, to have romantic dinners, picnics, you name it. Divorce only after about a couple of weeks, when they made it official to the friends and families, they were now dating. Everyone told me was actually a bit surprised that Derpy finally found someone to be dating, but it was unmentionable. That they didn't expect that. But they mentioned it to Dinky, she was just smiling and said, "I kinda knew that, Mom." Wait, you kinda knew that? Well, seeing her here often and seeing how you two were interacting with each other, she just smiled. So you don't mind? Of course not, Mom. I like her. She's funny, said Dinky about Minuet. After about a year, Dinky Derpy's relationship with Minuet seems to be quite serious. But one day, just after about a year, but one day, Derpy was flying over a very forest, and suddenly, one of the package that she was about to deliver fell out of her package in her bag, and it dropped just right down in the forest. And she knows that the loss of the package was a bad way. So Derpy landed in the forest just close where the package was dropped. She looked and looked, and suddenly she found it some near some bushes or like some flowers, and suddenly she had made a scratch against one of the flowers' thorns. Ouch! That's okay though. Just as a scratch. So she picked up the package and flew back to Ponyville. That evening, after dinner, Dinky noticed that her mother seems a bit tired. Mom, maybe you had to go to bed. I mean, you look tired and well, you just seems don't and you don't look well. Derpy was feeling a little bit tired, a little bit weak. Maybe she just said, "Well, I maybe just overworked from today, so I get to go to bed a little bit early." But you know what I'm about to do? Yes, Mom. But the next morning, it was something that would happen because the next day, Minuet was also around the same time were in Ponyville to see Twilight. And the next day, she and Derpy was meant to spend time. But that morning, everything changed. Dinky woke up around 8 a.m. That was during summer break. So she didn't had to worry about school though. She was actually woken up around 8 a.m. and but she noticed it was silent. She thought maybe her mom maybe had left for work earlier. So she went in the kitchen maybe to find a note from her mom, but it was nothing. So she just thought maybe that her mom maybe hasn't even gone up yet. So she went to Derpy's bedroom, and found that she was still asleep. At 8 a.m., Mom is supposed to be at work at this point, even though that she was supposed to meet up Minuette a little bit later that day, but still going to work, but she was not even moving much. She walked up to her mom and said, "Mom, wake up, you will late for work." But nothing. She was worried her mom was even something, but she noticed that her mom was breathing, but was very shallow breathing. And she tried to shake her once again and again. "Mom, wake up! You're getting late for work!" But still no reaction. Derpy was not even a heavy sleeper. It wouldn't take much to wake up her up though. So Derpy Dinky started to get a bit worried. She tried again and again. She even went in the kitchen, went for a spoon and a fry pan, and went back into Derpy's room and bang on the fry pan so as loud she could. She thought maybe that could wake her up. But there was no reaction at all. But there was something else suddenly that she noticed that Derpy was sweating a lot. But it was not even a hot day then. So she went straight to the castle to find Minuette and Twilight. "Dinky, what are you doing here? Uh, can you please calm? My mom doesn't wake up." "What?" said Twilight and Minuette at the same time. "What do you mean? I try to wake her, but she doesn't even wake up at all." "What? Nothing at all?" "No." Both Twilight and Minuette at this point knew that Derpy wasn't an very heavy sleeper. It wouldn't take much to wake her up. So they both agreed to go back with her to Derpy's home to find Derpy, sure enough, in bed, cold sweat, deep asleep, and nothing reacted. They both tried to scream, but no reaction at all. "I'm getting worried now," said Nurse. "Something is wrong." "What was your mom feeling like yesterday, though?" asked Twilight. Nothing different. She's tired, felt a little bit weak. I mean, she usually feels a bit tired and weak after a long day at work, but the, nothing different. Did she eat any enough for her? Yeah, her. She was acting normal like yesterday. Did she mention anything else? No. Wait, Twilight, look at here. They noticed a scratch one of Derpy's front hoof. A scratch? Did you notice this, Dinky? Yeah, my mom said that she scratched her hoof when she went in every forest after she accidentally dropped a package. Wait, in every forest? Yeah. Okay. Um, Dinky, can you went to get some pony to get your mom to hospital? This might be very serious," said Twilight in a little bit serious tone. All right. After about a half hour, Derpy was taken to the hospital, and the doctors there took some tests and, well, doctor, can you help her? "I'm sorry, princess, but there's nothing I can do." "What?" "It seems that she has been attracted to some poison." "A poison?" "A natural poison. But there is no cure, at least for what I know. I have checked all the medical books and asked colleagues, but this is nothing we can do." "But there must be some pony can help us," asked Minuet. "Wait, I know some pony that might help." "Who?" "Sakura." "That's right. She lives in every forest, and maybe that she can know help her. But there's one problem. What is it? We don't know exactly what caused the scratch on that. I mean, it could be almost any plant in every forest. If we would know exactly where Derby was scratched, but she isn't even waking up. She's the only pony that can tell us." They both agreed, and they both realized. But the doctor said, I'm sorry to tell you this, but we don't even know exactly how long she has left. But what do you mean? Asked Minuet. Even this poison is spreading across her body. We don't know if this is a quickly working or how much time she has left. This could mean that she might be passing away before the end of the day or at night. But is there anything you could do? I mean, give her some medications or to at least slow her down. There is as much I can do, said Doctor, without knowing exactly which type of poison we are involved in. But we can try. We can give her some pain medicine and some type of medicine that might slow down the process, but this is a long shot. We don't know if this won't have effect at all. But if you find Sakura, quick, please. So both Derpy and no wait, so both Twilight and Minuet went to see Sakura. So Sakura was told exactly. So, do you think you can help us? Asked Minuet. Might, but not knowing exactly what type of poison, she said. Well, we don't really know itself. Did you know where the package was dropped? Both looked at each other and said, no. But it had to be close to the edge of the forest, said Twilight. I mean, for what I understand, from what Dinky told me, or at least from what her mom said, that it wasn't that far away from the edge of the forest because it took her maybe a couple of minutes before looking. So they must have been around the edge of the forest. That can help us. But at the same time, the forest is big, and we don't know exactly where it can be. Well, if we usually go through the flight patterns, I mean, if we know where the paths or like in the where the directions where Derpy usually flies through, maybe that can help us. So they went later. So they told Sakura they would be back as soon as possible. So they went to the post office, and sure enough, there they have a map showing exactly in which paths in flight directions where Derpy usually takes. And knowing that G-Flight was flying closer to the epic forest, that said the last day before. So they were able to narrow down exactly in the part of the forest. So both Twilight and Minuet went there, went down in that part of the section of the forest, and managed to find a site where they found footprints, the hoofprints. This flower must have been. So Twilight picked the flower and the both left. Sakura, we may have found the flower to make that could cause this poisonous. So they gave Sakura the flower, and she looked at it and immediately recognized it. Ah, this I do recognize. Do you know what it is? That I do. There's a purple light flower. Purple light flower? As you can see, it has a purple color. It's a very deadly poison. Is there a cure? Asked Minuet. There is, but it may take a little bit long, some while to get prepared for it. I mean, do you have all the things that are required to make it? Asked Twilight, a little bit upward word. I do. It takes about a half hour to make it, so don't worry. After a half hour, Sakura finally made the cure and gave it to both Twilight and Minuet. And they went straight to the hospital. The doctor said that Derpy was very close. Her breathing was getting slower and lower. But then they said, we have the cure though. That's amazing. How did they get it? Sakura recognized a flower that gave the poison and she made a cure. And here you have it. Is it is it too late? Hard to tell, said the doctor. But now we have this cure. It might take a while for it to react. But the doctor didn't hesitate for a second. He gave Sakura Derpy the cure, and after about a few hours, the doctor said, "Well, I have some good news for you both. You see, she will make it, but she will have to stay at a hospital overnight, just in case." And so by the next morning, Dinky, Derpy, Twilight, and Minuet went to the hospital. And Derpy was sure enough awake, smiling, and said thanks to both Twilight and Minuet. Because she said, if it wasn't for you two, I wouldn't have not been here. And I could not imagine to see my daughter to lose her only parent. And thanks to you both, to help me, said Derpy. But there was something that else was going to happen. Minuet said that she was very happy to see that Derpy was okay though. But after that Dinky and Twilight had left, Minuet said to Derpy that she was so close to losing her only soulmate. It not because of this accident. She had realized even before it all happened that Derpy was the pony that she wanted to be with. So right then, Minuet proposed to Derpy, even despite being only together for about just 1 year. But it felt like they had been knowing each other for years. And Derpy, even though she was a bit tired, but she said yes immediately. After about the next day when she was able to leave, she told Dinky and the others about this proposal and that she accepted. Every pony was so overjoyed. And it didn't take long for all the friends and even both sides of families were informed about this engagement, and they decided to have the wedding in Ponyville. But after a while though, Derpy was really happy to getting married with her fiancée, Minuet. Minuet was really happy herself. But after a while though, on the wedding day, Derpy had asked Fluttershy to be her bridesmaid, and Minuet had asked Rarity to be her bridesmaid, and both had asked Twilight if she wanted to be the one to perform the ceremony, which Twilight said yes to. At the party afterwards, which Pinky had arranged, every pony had amazing time, having enjoyed the great music, the great food, and just having a blast of a time. Both families and friends could see how happy Derpy and Minuet were together, as they were sharing the first dance together. As they were dancing together, it felt like the whole world just stopped, and they were the only ones there. They could not be happier. They were also big surprised that Twilight had arranged so they could spend their honeymoon on a tropical island resort for about a week. They thanked her, and Twilight said, while you two are gone, me, Spike, will look after Dinky for you, as promised. So they went to this honeymoon, and they went there for about a week, and they had this a blast of a time, enjoying the beach, swimming in the ocean, doing some sightseeing, just enjoying a great, great time. But after 3 years of being married, both Derpy and Minuet thought they wanted to have a family together. Even though that Minuet now had one adopted daughter, Dinky, but they would decide to have a family of their own together. So they asked Twilight for help, and she accepted the offer. So Minuet chose to be pregnant, and after a while they learned that they were expecting a daughter. And then the day came when the daughter was born. They named the daughter Aqua Fresh Muffin. Aqua Fresh Muffin was very like her mother's, especially Derpy. She loved to bake with her mom Derpy when she was growing up. Ever since then, it sparked an interest in her. When she was about 15, she really enjoyed baking and she thought maybe doing it as a part time job. So she had asked both Mr. and Mrs. Cake if it was possible for her to work at Sugar Corner as a part time job. And both actually agreed. They didn't mind if she was working there, even if it was a part time job, as they always appreciate any extra help at this cafe. Sometimes when they were not even there, and it was Pinky by herself with the Cake Twins, they wouldn't mind if there's any extra help though. So she started working there as part-time job at 15. But when she was 20, she was actually offered by Mrs. Cake as full-time job at the Sugar Cube Corner, which she immediately accepted. She loved it so much. And even all that, she even taught her new recipes from both Mr. and Mrs. Cake and even from Pinky. Pinky, though, she had even taken in Aquafresh Muffin as her quote unquote apprentice, as to teaching her more ways about baking and other new recipes all the time, and she even showed Mr. and Mrs. Cake and Pinky some baking recipes that she learned from her mom, Derpy. And they didn't mind to even learn some new recipes as well. Even though that she loved to spend time with Pinky to experiment with new flavors and new type of cakes, muffins, everything that they could make there. And some of that new things that she had learned, they sold at the cafe and they were a great hit. She actually had fulfilled her childhood dream that she wanted to work as a baker one day. At some point later on, though, when she was about 25, she actually met a stallion. And they start dating. After about 5 years, they actually got engaged and later married. And they even had two daughters of their own. The bond between Derpy and Minuet was unbreakable. Minuet had realized that Derpy was the pony that she was been waiting for all along. Even when she was dating her ex-boyfriend all those years ago, even for about a month, after she learned how he's cheating on her, she didn't trust any pony in dating for a while. But after meeting Derpy, and after that she had those dreams about her being married with Derpy, all of that changed. And after when she learned about Derpy and that they both agreed to see if they could work as been a couple, and it seems that they both realized they were meant to be. But even especially at one time when Derpy dropped a package over Everfree Forest by accident, got herself poisoned by a plant by accident. And even though that she didn't realize it until the next day, when she didn't even wake up, she was very grateful for her daughter to react as much when she tried to wake her up, and when she was brought both Twilight and Minuet to help her. And how much Minuet and Twilight went to the forest, all the great deal they made in order to find a cure. Derpy was really grateful that Minuet did everything to help her girlfriend from being not from dying. For that, she felt more grateful than anything in the whole world. Twilight and herself was very happy that Minuet had found her true soulmate. And Derpy, she was very happy that Minuet did everything to save her from dying from this poison. And not only that, for that moment, she realized Minuet were her soulmate that she had been looking for. And this is how Derpy, Hooves, and Minuet found a true love and got a family together. The end.